Hi, Luminaires. Hi, everyone. How are you doing? Happy Thursday, or whenever you're watching this video. We go live mostly on Thursdays to do our energy updates. If you are new to the channel, hi and welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. My name is Jamie Butler. I'm the Everyday Medium. It is my passion for taking, I guess, this kind of lofty spiritual expansiveness and bringing it down and normalizing it. So taking the woo-woo, breaking it down, and showing you how you probably rely on it on a day-to-day basis, but maybe don't know exactly what to call it or how to identify it. So I'm not here alone today. I have Colleen Ziegler off screen.
Hi, everyone.
And as we're talking, we would like to know if you can hear us okay. So please let us know in the chat thread. The chat thread today for our live stream is subscribers only, and we really like hearing from you. You'll notice in the description beneath our live stream today, it has a list of all of our classes that we are doing of this month of April 2023. And I like to do all of my classes over on the Learn It Live platform. Once you sign up for a class, you'll get notified for anything that I'm putting up, whether it is a Reiki healing, a distance healing, ancestral healing, whether we are doing a trance channeled class where spirit comes through and teaches you directly from them their insights and perspectives, or whether we are doing a Q&A or a series. I do have an approaching trance channeling series that I teach, is 16 weeks long. It'll be starting up again in fall, as well as a perceiving and reading energy. So if you're interested in learning how to perceive subtle light energy and get the information that it's showing us all the time or presenting to us, this is the class to take. I like to call it the beginner's course, but it's pretty in depth. And Luminaires here on the chat thread will share. A lot of you have been there with me, so thank you so much. I have also opened up applications for my mentorship, which starts in July. It is a 5-month process, and it helps people who are energy sensitive entrepreneurs. So you're taking your business and you're shaping it to meet all of your highly sensitive abilities and your intuition and launching it. And so you'll be with me communicating and doing interviews on my social media accounts and getting to know the followers to help build and launch your business. With all of that said, today I'm going to be trance channeling and allowing Maitland to come in and present to you the energy update, which means the highs and lows, kind of what's happening. But she also likes to highlight how is it affecting our energetic system. So which chakras are going to be challenged, supported, and needed for the month. And she pairs these with crystals and talks about gridding your bed and holding that energy really strong. And she teaches a more in-depth class, which is going to happen today as well, just a little bit after we close up our energy update. So I'm certain she'll be talking to you about that. If you are sensitive to energy and you can feel those shifts in your body, you might pick up on the shift that we're doing now when I go into trance channeling. If you like that feeling in your body, then just keep it, write it, love it. If it's something that's a little too much for you right now in your journey, just kind of step back from whatever device you're on, catch your breath, grab something to eat, to drink, and just listen in instead of intently connecting. I know I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia, and you were not in the room with me, but because we're connected, even if you're watching the recorded version and not the live stream, we're holding energy between the two of us and as a whole. And so it's going to be a live reaction to you, no matter where you are in proximity to me or when you're watching it. So your responses are real. This is what we got to get used to when it comes into being energy sensitive. Oh, I got to put my glasses on, which has happened. Somebody became a member and I just poked my eye. That's why I need glasses, guys. Kate, hey, thank you for joining Lumalight. I can't wait to see you in our YouTube membership, which is what the class is going to be later today with Maitland, teaching you about the chakras, crystals, and aromatherapy that she'll talk about as well. All right, I'm just going to hit everything before we get in here. Are we ready? I should ask myself this. Now I'm getting all revved up and nervous. Can you feel it? Just take a deep breath. This is the fun part. I get to leave and you get to have a good time. Colleen is going to be watching the chat thread. So if you need clarity on anything that's happening, like on the topic at hand, just converse with each other. This is why we're here holding community. All right, have a good time, guys. It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for being here and supporting this. If you like this kind of work, please like, subscribe, and share. It is the best way that you can support us. Thank you. I will see you later. Maybe in a class or a healing or some kind of expansive work we're about to do. Take care. Okay, I'm gonna calm myself down. I'm so excited all of a sudden. My heart is racing. Okay. Okay, you have to stretch really big. Ugh. Ours a little bit more difficult to get in today. She didn't even tell you about me or anything. So if you're watching this for the very first time, you're probably like, what is happening? So I'm going to tell you. What's happening is my name is Maitland, Maitland. I am 9 years old. I choose to be 9 years old. I do not have to be 9 years old. The reason I like to present myself this way in spirit is because it's very helpful to have people listen to me when I talk about really big stuff. Because sometimes when it's delivered very serious, and we are talking about expansive universal energy, it's very difficult to understand. So if you like getting your messages done with a little bit of giggles and a lot of like metaphor talk, but very direct, I take it and I make it more digestible. Yum, 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 yum. And you can just take the information and you can use it right away. So that is why I come and I work like this and I present like this. And I really like working with Jamie because she's also very creative and playful as well. So we've been working together for like 30 years. It's been 30 years. Something like that. And today I'm going to talk to you specifically about the month of April and its energy. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'll tell you about the chakras that are going to be challenged, supported, and needed, and also what kind of crystals you can use and aromatherapy. So first I want to remind you of what you just came from, because you just came from March. It needed an echo effect because it was really big. It was actually the biggest astrological month of the entire year. And it was also the opening of the door. Imagine this in your head, the opening of the door where you could all now stand in the door and see the new earth, that new evolved spiritual earth, where the technology is coming forward and the way that healing and health is going to be handled and managed is going to be so different. And it's very much in alignment with spiritual awakening and just this whole high vibe mindfulness lifestyle. It's not a fad. It is absolutely the next step to take to get where you are. And so now that the door is open, you got April sitting right there going, what are we going to do with this? Now we have the door open. So I want to remind you that April's energy is coming off of that whole new technology coming out, new ways of, new technology in healing, how we look at healing diseases and illnesses are going to be way different than what you were doing before. A lot of what is being used, I have to get comfortable. I hope you get comfortable too. The ways that people are healing themselves today are really going to kind of be seen as obsolete as we get into this. So we come into the first week of April, which is pretty calm. It's kind of smooth. I like it. There's not much really to be rowdy about. The energy that's coming in from all around is really supporting commitment. So find your thing and stick to it. I just burped.
It was quiet.
It was?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's all going to support commitment. Whatever you're working on, whatever relationship that you're in, whatever you have eyes on, this energy coming in for the first week is like, let's help you get into it a little bit more and you can have that focus. But I'm going to request that you take the first week and you write on your calendar, stand in love. Like you want to come from a place of love, not just an emotional place like putting your heart first. I'm seriously talking about love. So if I had to describe April, this is how I would describe April. You know when sometimes you want a complete new look, like you're tired of your clothes or what you're wearing or how you present yourself and you just want a whole new look, and so you go shopping and you get in front of the mirror. First you have to take everything off to put everything on, and there you are in the big mirror, and then you put a whole outfit on. April is that moment where you have your new outfit on and you're looking at yourself. The moment before you decide you're going to buy it. So it's that pause and you're observing. You're like, do I like this? But it's not like I'm only going to focus on the shoes or I'm only going to focus on the jewelry. It's not about nitpicking and looking at what is this company doing? What is that government doing over there? What is this person in my neighborhood doing? And what is this weather change right here? It's really about looking at the whole new look, the whole new earth, right? It's not just what does one element look like on me? It's what is the whole picture? And you're pausing and you're observing it. And before any big change happens, it comes from vulnerability. It comes from acknowledging, I want something new. And, with clothes, you have to take the previous clothes off to put the other ones on. So you do have a moment of vulnerability when you're in your birthday suit. That's April. It is that moment of observation after being vulnerable and making change. So the vulnerability is done, the making of the change is done, and now you're observing it going, do I want to embody this or not? It's going to be a big yes, but the big yeses come in May. But so here you are, and the first week comes in, and it's like, it's okay to commit to this. Look at it a little bit more and see what you want to connect to. But you want to make sure that you're standing with love, values like appreciation, um, higher integrity. It's not a nitpicking. Because sometimes in this week, right before the full moon, which can be a little nasty this month, but the full moon energy comes in, it can confuse a little bit of communication. And so you might go, what am I even thinking putting a new outfit on? What's this new earth even about? I don't even know how to show up for this. So when you get into that little confusion, the thing to do is to ask yourself, what's the meaning? Now, you might not always get a straight answer because you know how your spirit team is and your angels. They're like, everything is going to be okay. Breathe, smile, stay with it. And you're like, sometimes I just want a little more in depth answer. So, what this is when you get confused and you ask, what is the meaning of this? How am I connecting to this? What is the meaning? Get to the core meaning. Look for an emotional response, not an intellectual response. That will help you get a more clear answer. When you ask what the meaning is, sometimes your head jumps in and goes, oh, I really want to know that. So you got to tell me in great detail, but really it's your heart that needs to know. So it's an emotional response. Then we get into the full moon, and the full moon can be a little aggressive this time because it's really coming in at a time where it's bringing some frequencies down that say, hey, it's time to let go of some emotions or some social influences that you used to think were really important, but you're not using them anymore. So you got to cut that loose. So it is a time to let go. But you have to stay standing in love and stay very present. Because if you're not present of the healing that is happening, sometimes the brain can just go, well, this is very difficult and I don't want to do it. And I just want to go back to the old stuff that I'm used to doing, my old patterns, my old indoctrinated things. And it's fine if I play a victim. I like to use my triggers as the excitement that happens in my life. And I don't want to do this because healing is a lot. but it's a great opportunity to heal when the full moon comes. So just stand in it. And if you're slightly uncomfortable, but you're still physically safe, but you're uncomfortable, stay in it. Connect to the meaning, which is going to be an emotional meaning, and let the healing happen, because it takes you right into the second week of April. And I like this week. All I want to say, it is the week of manifestation. Your first week was like, ooh, we're going to help you commit, and we're going to drudge up some things to heal and commit to that healing. And now we're going to manifest for you. So if you wanted to launch that new you and buy that outfit from the first week, do it and walk with it in pride, because people are going to notice it and be like, wow, look at you. Or if you have a business idea that you want to launch or a new business, second week. It's all about manifesting. And then it takes you into the third week, which is right before, or it's the week that the solar eclipse is happening. And this is, you're into manifesting and seeing through, committing and seeing through what you want to bring forward in your life on all levels. And around the 14th and the 15th, it kind of gets a little icy. Like the energy gets a little weird. Everything's been going great. And here's an example. You and your best friend, everything has been going fine. And then you go have a meal and your friend is very like off-putting to you, just a little cold shoulder. That's what they call it, the cold shoulder. And you're just like, what's wrong? And they're like, nothing is wrong. But you feel it, something's off. But they won't tell you. So it's like this strange energy block, and it's meant to slow you down. And you got to recognize that it's about slowing down and that everybody's going through their own stuff. And sometimes they don't want to show it or share it with you. And so if you're getting that cold shoulder and the distance, that is because they need space to do their work. And what's the one thing that you can do is give the space so they can do the work. And it feels good to be able to do that. And you might be the one who's requesting that. So just be aware of that, because it pushes us into the solar eclipse, which is it's not naughty or anything, but it's a lot of work, with miscommunication, just kind of stirring some things up. It's kind of like walking blindly, or like you went through the store and you just picked some random pieces to put on and you're looking at yourself and you're like, this doesn't really look like me. It doesn't fit like me. Like you might feel some more imposter syndromes. Is that the right word?
Imposter?
Imposter syndrome. So I just would say relax, chill a little bit more. Don't be so actively and heavily involved in making those changes, and take the observer seat. And you're taking the observer seat without powering it with fear. Like, oh my God, I wonder what's going wrong. Why aren't they talking to me like they want to talk to me? Why don't I feel good? Why are things so weird? Don't take the fear aspect. Just go, something is working its way out the way it needs. I'm going to stay focused on where I am presently. Stay present. Stand in love. Stay positive, please, through the solar eclipse, because it can be a bit much. And then that solar eclipse energy pushes us into the last week. So the solar eclipse is around the 19th and the 20th, and then it pushes us into the 21st, where Mercury goes into retrograde, and it's going to stay there for 3 weeks. And this one is like, it's classic Mercury in retrograde. It's not the one where I'm like, it's okay, you just kind of breeze through it. Like, I'm going to tell you, please don't travel, especially like in the air at this time. Just give it a rest.
Jamie and I will be traveling in the air at that time.
In May?
No, at the
April,
end of
May.
April.
Oh, have fun. If you're going to be traveling by car, by air, by hiking, walking, biking, whatever it is, for that like last week of April, even like the first week of May, Give yourself extra time. I'm not saying don't travel because there's going to be a million accidents. That's not what I'm saying. Please don't listen to my words in a fearful way. I'm saying don't do it because there's going to be a lot of confusion and a lot of like just mishaps. You lose your luggage, your flight is canceled, you don't, it's delayed and you don't show up and you miss it, or, your Uber gets canceled, some glitches with electronics goes, and then things don't work properly. So if you are traveling, then give yourself tons of room. See it as an event. Show up 2 hours early and just say if it happens, it happens. If your car ride is going to take 2 hours, give yourself 4. That's what I'm saying. It's like traffic and strange things, and you'll just be watching very bizarre. And the world in grand, like in a bigger picture during the last week of April, you might notice there's more conflict or misunderstandings in conversations, and that there might be a lot more bickering, and it might feel like governments are against each other, or this very war-like energy where it's like, you're not my friend, well, you're not my friend, and like there's going to be a fight. But there's never a fight, and there's never a war, and there's not big calamity, but the feeling is in it, and you're like, what is this? I want to get away from it, but it's very much there. So what I'm going to ask is for the last week of April, first week of May, when it comes to traveling or taking contracts or committing to something new, is that you do so over long periods of time. Don't make you don't say overnight decisions. I want overnight decisions. I want you to sleep on it. What do you call it when you do it really fast?
Just a quick decision.
Oh, I thought there was another word for it.
There probably is. It's not coming to me.
Quick or rapid decisions and stuff like that.
Instant?
Don't. Instant. Nothing is instant.
Impulse?
Yes. Oh, that's the word. It's the impulse. Don't do it. If you get an impulse to it, go, I will wait and I will make my decision the next day. Like, lengthen things out because you'll connect to it easier. You'll understand it, and there won't be any of the calamity or the chaos wrapped in it. It'll be smooth, and you'll go, I don't know why everybody else is so upset about Mercury retrograde. Mine's been fine, because that's why. So when we're talking about all of this energy through the 4 weeks of April, we're looking at how is our energetic body responding to it. And when I'm watching this, I see that most humans on Earth are having their solar plexus being really challenged. Solar plexus is right beneath the belly button, and it's the orange chakra, and it's the one that's kind of where the womb is. Even for men, there is a womb. It is an emotional center, and it is connected a lot to the secondary gut brain, like the solar plexus is. And this is the one that is going to be challenged. And so I thought that it would be really nice to have Tangerine quartz. Tangerine quartz. To know more about it, come to my class this afternoon, because we're going to get in depth, like what it is, where it is, why, and so forth, and what it does. But Tangerine quartz is more of a grounding positive. And I'm choosing this because your sacral chakra is being challenged because of all these triggers that are coming up, around commitment and around the full moon. That is like, you've got to let go of some emotional and social influences, and you got to stand up and start healing yourself. And you can get triggered quite a bit into not, I guess, sensationalizing things and not wanting to do it. And we need to be very, very clear with what we're feeling and stay very present. And so our sacral chakra is where our emotions come from. So it is going to be challenged. We want to give it extra attention. We want to give it its like frequency so that it can use it and be like, okay, I got it. Because I have enough to feed on, because you're going to be burning through it. You think about exercising your body, and how runners will eat the spaghetti and the carbohydrates before they run long distances, because that's what they use for energy and fuel. You're going to want some orange this month. You can even think the color orange, wear the color orange, buy an orange pillow to sleep on. That is very nice. But we want to strengthen the solar plexus so that it is not in a flight, fight, or freeze mode. It's just emotionally secure. And so you'll make better decisions for the month of April this way. I like the Tangerine quartz to provide that frequency, and you can absolutely put it around your bed, and you can put it in your home. It does brighten up the energy when you have it in your home, and it feels very nice.
I have a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
Catherine W. was asking for a brief explanation on what you mean by secondary gut brain.
The secondary gut brain is actually located around the stomach, and it's not in the digestive system, but it is the exact same tissue that your brain is made up of, and it's the 10th of the size of your brain. So it has 10th of the neurotransmitters in the brain tissue in your gut. And you can look it up. It's called the gut brain or the secondary brain. But scientists, when they're looking at it more and more, and what you're going to discover, like 2023 and 24, it is about new innovation and healing and understanding of the physical body. And you're going to understand that this big old thing you keep up here is not the number one controller. The number one controlling system, it's in your abdomen, it's in your gut, and it's way smaller. And it's actually the one that communicates to all the bacteria and the um, what's the good ones called? The it's in the yogurts and the stuff.
Probiotics?
The probiotics in the gut. It's also the secondary brain.
The good flora?
The good flora. That's what
yeah.
I want. The flora.
But the probiotics are in yogurt. That's what I was thinking.
Oh,
yeah.
No, it's the flora in your gut are directly linked to your health, 100%. And the gut brain communicates to them more than this brain. And the gut brain is actually the one that signals to release serotonin and things of that nature. It's not actually this brain up here. So that's what I mean by the gut brain. So if we're giving ourselves a lot of this orange energy and we're supplying a lot of strength in the abdomen, we are supporting the gut brain. Ding.
I have a couple more questions for you.
I like this. Yes.
Okay. Alexis was asking, can you define launching when it comes to a new business idea? Launching is in quotation marks. Does that mean offering a complete package to the public or launching the creation process of the new idea?
Nope, you could be committed to the creation idea even now and work through it on the first week. The launch would be a public announcement of something new. It could be new about you, your personality, maybe some therapy that you discovered and you're ready to show it to the world. It's a very public kind of announcement. But you could see it as I now am going to begin a project, and when it's done, then I show it to the world later. But if you've already been working on something, the second week is a great week to come out with it.
And just for clarification, Michelle is saying, I thought the sacral chakra was orange and the solar plexus was yellow, which is correct. I'm not sure if
it is. Did I say it backwards?
I didn't catch it if you said it backwards. So just wanted to make clarification on that in case you did. Because sometimes you're talking and I'm reading the chat thread. And
sometimes I talk really fast.
It's easy to make mistakes, for sure.
Yeah. You're right. It is. The sacral one is orange, and I said that the gut brain is also related to the yellow solar plexus. But it is the orange that we're going to give all the support to because that is the energy that April is kind of tugging on quite a bit.
And I'll save some questions for later so you can continue on.
Okay, so then we're going to talk about the chakra that's going to be supported, and that one is actually your third eye. And so when we get into standing in love and harnessing your thoughts and staying positive and having that second week of manifestation and having this incredible full moon with a solar eclipse, all of this is going to engage in your sensitivities and your psychic abilities. And the frequency that I like to pair this month with and your third eye is Labradorite. I was teasing Jamie about calling it a Labrador dog stone, and now we're both not pronouncing it right.
Labradorite.
Labradorite.
There you go.
It's very shimmery and shiny. It's almost opalescence in a way. But I'll talk more about that in the class this afternoon. But this energy is great in transformation. And just like we said, April is you standing in the mirror looking at that outfit, the whole new look before deciding to buy it. That is a transformation. And Labradorite really helps in transforming self. It is us getting used to new earth concepts and new earth ideas. And it's us also being able to acknowledge and see other people that are doing the likeness, like the like-minded, the like intuitive, the like emotional, and allowing this newer innovation to come forward. So I think Labradorite is very wonderful to have, and you can absolutely put it around your bed, especially if you have a runaway brain, talks a lot, like I talk a lot. You can put it around your bed, and it can help calm the chatter of the brain, give you a deeper rest. But it also says, let's turn up the intuitiveness, but let's turn it up in a way where you're observant to it and not overwhelmed by it. So if your children have ADHD, or if you have ADHD, I would keep Labradorite with amethyst around your bed. Labradorite and amethyst play really, really well together. And this is great for that kind of calming energy. And you'll definitely feel a difference. So our third eye gets supported for the month. And then we've got the one that is needed the most. What is needed? Bum, bum, ba-dum. It's your solar plexus. It's yellow. It's at beneath the curve of your ribs, like right in the midline beneath the curves. And I chose pyrite, or fool's gold, because I like the way that pyrite says, hey man, this is difficult. But through difficulty comes a great opportunity for change. So it takes that sense of being like, oh, this can be difficult, to, oh, I now recognize that this is an opportunity for shift or for growth or for change. All right. So it helps you stay really positive. And the solar plexus is needed the most this month to help you stay positive and to help you stay present. Now, I wouldn't necessarily put pyrite around my bed because it can be a little bit of uppity, and I want to go to sleep if I'm in a bed. Boy, spirits don't really sleep, but you know what I'm saying. I'm talking like I'm you. I would leave it somewhere like your desk, your home office, your kitchen, somewhere where you're inspired and innovated to do, action. You're going to ground yourself in action mode, which the first week of April is really good for that, to ground yourself in action mode, to stand in love, to be committed. That's grounding yourself in an action mode. And pyrite is very wonderful for it. So, in looking at our overall grid system on our bed, I would definitely keep a protective grounding stone. I like black tourmaline the most, and it cleanses itself, so it's very good. You can just leave it there, but you can also use selenite. Selenite is going to increase your intuitive abilities, take your consciousness up a little bit, especially when you're sleeping, so you can have really nice downloads and things of that nature. Then I would also, I would ground, I would surround my bed with tourmaline, tangerine quartz, and also labradorite. And when you are gridding your bed, you can use tumbled stones. Tumbled stones shine like the sun. They kind of push energy out all over like a ball. And its size does not matter. It could be a very small stone, like the size of your pinky fingernail, or it could be big. It just really depends on you. I think cost point wise, making a collection, collecting the smaller tumbled stones is really nice, because when you're gridding your bed, you're going to need 4 of these, one for each corner, so that they can talk to each other. And then you're sleeping in the middle of that conversation. And your energy all night long is getting in sync and in alignment with that energy of the stones around your bed. If you have a quartz that is pointed, that's called a termination point, you're going to want to put the points towards you on the corners. So then the energy comes in through the base and it runs down the shaft and it goes out the point to you. So it's running energy from outside the bed frame and then into the mattress, into you, so that you get it. But if it's tumbled, it doesn't matter. If you're having trouble sleeping, I would add amethyst to your layout. So you would have black tourmaline, selenite, tangerine quartz, labradorite, and if you need some more deep, deep sleeps, I would add amethyst. So you would have 5 stones in a group on each corner. So that would be 25 stones that you are sleeping in. I like to remind you that if you have a pet, if you have a pet companion, if you have children, or if you have a very angry vacuum cleaner, they can disperse your stones really quickly. So you can tape them or you can put them in a little satchel and just rest them on the floor or up underneath between the 2 mattresses or your mattress and the wood. What is it called? Slats for your bed to rest on.
You answered someone's question there.
I did?
Yeah, if you could put it in little bags.
Yes.
There was also a question about if you didn't have stones for the 4 corners, what's the one stone that you could put in the middle? Would that be a black tourmaline?
Well, it depends on what you want to get out of it. I mean, if you had one set, I'd actually put it in your pillowcase. I don't know why I'm whispering. I'm sorry. It's kind of funny sometimes, the things I do. If you only had one stone, I would probably put it on the bottom side of your pillowcase. So it's closer to your body and it's wrapped up around your throat, third eye, and crown chakra. And then your body will take on the rest of it. If the pillowcase does not sound, good enough, I would just put it on your bedside table. If you want it in the middle, just because it's aesthetically pleasing, it's sometimes a little difficult to get under there.
What if you put it under?
What?
Like you slid it under your bed rather than in between the mattresses.
I know, but it's hard to get down there. Will you use like a broom to push it in? You could do it. I would put then black tourmaline because then you wouldn't have to get under there every month to clean it. Because black tourmaline will clean itself and it will clean its friends. So it's good to have in your grid.
And Samantha is asking, are crystals really important to use?
Energy dosing is very important to add to your life. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be with crystals. It can be with color. It could be with aromatherapy. It could be with sound. And I like to use crystals because it's something that's more tangible than aromatherapy. You put it into the air, it doesn't stay very long. A few hours later, it's kind of dismissed unless you have a diffuser. When you use sound, you're listening to it, and then when it's over, you're disconnected from it. When it's a crystal and you crawl into bed, it's constantly shining out its frequency, and you're going to be bathing in it. So it's a little bit just easier to use. But if it's not something you're in alignment with, I would go to something very basic like color. And for this month, I would say put some orange sheets on your bed. And I would do orange sheets, and I would be very clear about my statement before I go to bed, my intent of what my energy needs to do for me while I'm sleeping. And I'd be very clear with my intent of what my energy needs to do when I awake for the day. And I would make those statements bold, direct, and out loud. One when I go to sleep and one when I wake up. And I would have some orange sheets. Orange is really good for romance too. I just thought I'd say that. If you want to use aromatherapy, this month's aromatherapy, if you're using a diffuser, I would do 3 drops of rosemary. I would do 3 drops of cedarwood. You could use Atlas cedarwood too if you have it. And then I would do 3 drops of spearmint. Not peppermint, spearmint. Did you know that rosemary is in the mint family? Shocker. I like to talk about those things, but I'll do that in class. But that is the aromatherapy that you can diffuse. And if you're using a 4-ounce spray bottle, you just do 21 drops of each of them: rosemary, cedarwood, spearmint. The rosemary is the heart-centered, stand in love. Then the cedarwood is a grounding, that's the standing. And then the spearmint is that staying positive frequency that you want to approach April with. And if you don't like any of that, you could do a different one. You could do, like, if you're allergic to some of those, you could do 3 drops of patchouli, 3 drops of mandarin, that's a citrus, 2 drops of grapefruit, and 2 drops of lemon. So that's giving a lot of energy to the sacral and solar plexus, the orange and yellow. And that will be very helpful in keeping your energies up and ready to manage that new shift, that new change. I have been vulnerable. I have recognized that a new change is coming. And now I'm standing in it, deciding if I'm going to purchase it and take it home. That's April. Oh, sorry. I get very happy. Does anybody have any questions about the energy of April? And did you understood about Mercury in retrograde, right? Just give yourself more time and space. And if you don't have to travel, just don't. Let other people hustle with it. That would be just my biggest concern for April. I want everybody to be happy and to feel safe. And that's it.
A couple questions for you.
Yes.
Actually, we have a lot of questions, but I'm not going to ask all of them just because of our timing.
Okay.
And I know that we have the class also. We need a little lunch between that. So Samantha is asking, what is a great day to practice connecting with spirits in April? That seems to be a common question every month. Like, when is that veil going to be
Really?
the thinnest?
Oh, goodness. Okay, so it would be in the first half of April. I would say if you're more heady of a person, more logical, like, and you need a step-by-step process, I would look at the first week of April, and I would probably focus kind of on the 2nd through the 5th for the headies. If you're more of a free feeler and you're just kind of open to something happening, I would look at the 2nd week of April, and I would do after the full moon, kind of rest a little bit. So I would probably say the 9th, 10th, 11th. That would be the thinnest. Because remember, it's not just some, like, door somewhere that opens and closes and everybody's like, "Ooh, it's open. Ooh, it's closed now. Oh, it's cracked." Everybody is a different instrument and everybody perceives subtle light energy in a different way. And we have to acknowledge that approach. So if you are heady, the door will appear more available, like the 2nd through the 5th. If you're more emotional or kinetic, sensitive, the door will appear more open on like the 9th, 10th, 11th.
I'm going to ask you one more question. There was a question about the economy for April and bank collapsing. Banks, I should say.
Banks with an S. How did you like that hiccup this month? Were you like, I know? Because all the lying and the scheming, when companies were failing and they had so much money that it's called the FCA, the Federal Credit Association, couldn't secure all the monies and the bonds or whatever that were taken out. And they were like, it's just a suggestion. 250,000 is just a suggestion. We'll just go ahead and give you all of your money back because this was done wrong and the bank collapsed, and we'll just fund you because we don't want everybody else suffering because of this issue. It was like, watch. You see now how it's not run as we call fair or equal, that we all understand the communication that's happening. It's presenting one thing and doing something else behind the scenes. So you're watching it fall apart. You've been watching it fall apart gradually, but it wasn't enough to affect you to make a different decision. So I still would look April, April around like the end of April, around the 19th, 20, 21st, 22nd. That's when it starts to feel like very fight energy, warlike energy, even though it's not happening. You have that feeling. You feel like you're in it. That the banks will wobble again in that aspect. I would make sure that you have, you're diversifying. You have equal amounts of property to what you have in a bank, to what you have invested, and so that you can, if when one collapses, you have still access to your wealth and your things. I mean, I think the sneaky snake that's going to raise its head in April at this time is how many businesses are going cashless and not taking your cash in United States of America. That's the one where I think people in the US are going to be very surprised, because if you've been saving your cash because, investments have just not been solid for you and you want to spend it, you can't spend it. They're making you put it in the bank so it's held accountable, so that it is, I can't say it because so many videos are being taken off the social media outlets. But if it's accountable, then it's seen and then it goes through a process. So they're just wanting a more tighter eye on it. But you know what? It's okay. You don't have to fight so much against that change. Cash will be useful in other places. You're all right. And in this new growth that we're going to in the new earth, it is more about supporting each other and providing trade efforts again. Trade is coming back into style. And so there actually is no monetary value in exchange. But again, your governments worldly are going to try to figure out how to acknowledge trade and how you have to report your trade, and so that they can keep a better eye on taxing those trades and keep money flowing into what governments need taxes for.
Thank you. That was very thorough.
You're welcome. I want to say more about that, but you feel it, right? You feel what I'm saying? I know, because you're intuitive. Okay. Is there something else?
No, we are at time.
This has been so much fun.
Thank you.
Thank
you get
you.
so much information out in such a short period of time. I love it.
Well, I appreciate that. I work on it, and I like for you to have it because I want you to feel in control of your expanding energy and these shifts at this time. Just keep breathing. Focus on giving love and receiving love, and you'll find that April flies through and it feels good to you. If you like the work that Jamie, myself, Colleen are doing, please like and subscribe and share the video with friends if you have other friends who are looking for energy sensitive information and just kind of how to take it and use it on a day-to-day basis. We also have a lot of classes, and I teach some of the classes on Learn It Live. You can go over there and see them. They're recorded. And if you are a YouTube member, then you can join my classes. I like to also show up for the book clubs. I like book club a lot. We get into a lot of good conversations on what we're reading. And then from that, Jimmy usually designs some kind of meditation or healing based around the content that is in the books. So it makes it more like experiential rather than just, I read a book and these are my ideas. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm just rambling because I don't really want to go, but I'll see you again soon if you're coming to my class in a little bit where I talk more about the chakras and stones and aromatherapy. I'll see you later, alligators. And if you're new to this channel, this is how I like to say goodbye. And I think it's very fun and it's funny. And it has to be an animal and a type of goodbye, like hasta mañana, iguana.
Well, you a kiss, jellyfish.
I got a jog, warthog.
Take care, teddy bear.
That that. You haven't said that before.
That was from Catherine.
Catherine, I like this one.
I really like when people on the chat thread help me because I'm usually drawing a blank by this time, even though I know a lot of them.
I'll see you in the morning, unicorn.
Ciao, ciao, brown cow.
That's the one we got. So funny. Yeah. There's also the dinosaur one. Bye-bye, butterfly.
See you in an hour, jaguar.
Oh, I will see you in an hour. Almost, maybe shorter. See you in a half hour, jaguar. I don't know if that rhymed.
Thank you, Maitland.
Bye, everybody.
Thank yous. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye. I see your elbow.